Everyone, this is Jason. We're looking at how to divide with some rational expressions. So this is similar to an example you're going to see in one of your lessons. So we have two um, polynomial expressions. One part's a polynomial, the other part's a monomial. So it's a polynomial expression. And we're going to divide these. So remember that dividing equals multiply by reciprocal. So that's the rule that we're going to use. That dividing is the same as multiplying by reciprocal. So the kind of thing to help you remember that is to keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep x plus 3 divided by 5y. We're going to change division to multiplication, and we're going to flip this fraction. So we get 15y cubed over x squared minus x minus 12. So then what we want to do after we keep, change, flip, we're going to factor any trinomials. Or actually, we're going to factor anything that will factor. So now factoring is not the same as like reducing. So we'll talk about reducing in a minute, but we're just going to factor. So the only thing that's going to factor here is this trinomial. And remember to factor a trinomial with a leading coefficient of 1. The leading coefficient is that one. You look for factors of c that follow this sign to equal this constant. So factors of 12 that subtract to be 1, which are 3 and 4. And so we'll get a new expression here. And remember, we want to write everything down as we go so we don't forget anything. We got 15y cubed over, and then we've got an x with a 3, an x with a 4. Okay, and then remember, the other part of this rule is to look at the signs. This sign tells me if I have a positive and a negative sign, or if I have two of the same sign. So in this case, since it's subtraction, I know I have one subtraction and one positive. Now, why is that? Because a negative times a positive is a negative. So we're just gonna just remember that. Okay, so to place the signs, we then look at this middle number, and that goes in front of the bigger factor. So in this case, the 4 gets the subtraction and the 3 gets the addition. You can check that to see if you get back to that. You should always check kind of real quick. And really all you've got to do is just kind of check, because that's x squared, and then that's negative 4x and positive 3x. Negative 4 plus 3 gives me the negative 1, and then 3 times 4 is 12, so I know I have it. And you can just kind of do that mentally. So once we factor, then we try to cancel or reduce. Cancel, I can spell it correctly. So cancel things that are exactly the same. So in this case, what's exactly the same are these x plus 3's. So those cancel. Then we look to reduce. So how can I reduce? Well, I know that 5, if I divide 5 by 5, I get 1. And if I divide 15 by 5, I get 3. So I can cancel that 15 and get a 1, or I can cancel the 15 and get a 3. I can cancel the 5 and get a 1. And so then I've got the y's. Well, I have a y to the first power here. I have a y to the third power here. Remember that when you're dividing with exponents, you subtract them. So I can subtract the 1 from the 3 and be left with y squared. So let's clean this up before we get our final answer here. All right, so what's left right here? That x plus 3 canceled out, so that's a 1. The only thing that we have left here, because the 5 canceled out and the y to the first, so that's a 1. Here we have a 3, and we have a y squared, and then we have an x minus 4. And guess what? That's the final answer, because anything times 1 is the anything. So final result, 3y squared over x minus 4. So I hope this helps you with dividing these rational expressions. that include polynomials. If not, please let me know and I'll try to find you or make you an additional resource to help you out.